Over the years, I have noticed that many retroactive jealousy sufferers are inclined toward putting their partner on a pedestal. In today's video, I'm going to talk about why putting people on a pedestal is a problem. My name is Zachary Stockill, and since 2013, I've been helping men and women from all over the world beat retroactive jealousy and save their relationships. If you'd like to work with me one-on-one, or you'd just like more information about what I do, please visit my website at retroactivejealousy.com. For the people here for the first time, the term retroactive jealousy refers to unwanted intrusive thoughts, often obsessive curiosity, and what I like to call mental movies about your partner's past relationships and or sexual history. You can suffer from one of those symptoms, you can suffer from all three of those symptoms. That's retroactive jealousy. And many retroactive jealousy sufferers, and I have to say it, in particular men, seem to put their partner on a pedestal, seem to hold their wife or their girlfriend up to this impossible standard. And they often begin their relationship this way. In other words, they meet some incredible woman, they start using words and thinking things like, oh my God, she's perfect and she can do no wrong and she's this angel and that kind of thing, holding them up as these icons of virtue. And then a little later on in the relationship, when they find something out about their girlfriend or sometimes their wife, usually something in their past that doesn't exactly tickle their fancy, shall we say, that isn't exactly comforting or reassuring, all of a sudden, this idealized image of their partner is totally shattered. And quite often these guys switch to extremes where, they held their wife or girlfriend up to this impossible standard, and all of a sudden they go to the opposite extreme, thinking that, oh my God, what if she's a this and what if she's a that? What if I can't trust her? Yada, yada, yada. The big picture idea that I'd really like to stress in this video is putting people on a pedestal is a problem. Because when you put someone on a pedestal, they have no choice but to look down on you. I don't remember where I heard that quote, but it's right on the money. When you hold someone up as this icon of virtue and you think that they can do no wrong and they're somehow above you and they're more virtuous than you and all these things, they have no choice but to look down on you. And I believe to my core that no man or woman wants to be held up to an impossible to reach standard. No one wants to be put on a pedestal ultimately, because they know, maybe on a subconscious level, that as soon as they slip up, as soon as they reveal their hand, or as soon as you find out something about them that isn't so appealing, all of a sudden that pedestal is going to come crashing down and there's going to be hell to pay. But at a more fundamental level, it's just unattractive to be with someone who's holding you up and saying you're an angel and you're perfect and oh my God, how amazing you are and you're this flawless being and I'm so lucky to be with you and you're, it's not very appealing to be around, I think, for men or women. We don't want to have someone supplicating to us. We don't want to have someone kissing our behind all the time. At least most people don't. At least most people I know. Of course, receiving compliments and flattery and that stuff's very nice. I'm not going to say that I'm above that. Of course not. But we want our partner to realize that we're a human. We are a human with flaws and imperfections and shortcomings, just like every other human on the planet. I've had this situation a couple of times in my life, where I was dating a woman and she started to use words like perfect or, all these things. And it kind of put me on edge a little bit because I knew that sooner or later she's going to find out about one of my many flaws, one of my many shortcomings, one of the many things that is challenging about being with me. And she's not going to like it and she's going to have a very, very averse reaction to that because she's been holding me up to this impossible to reach standard, and it's going to completely shatter her psyche when she realizes that, oh my God, yes, I'm human too. By the way, in those situations, I learned, I need to tell that person, listen, I'm not perfect. Please don't put me on some kind of pedestal. I have all kinds of flaws. You're going to discover them very soon, I'm sure. Nothing's perfect. No relationship is perfect. And I am sure as hell not perfect either. So that's one thing. Just realize that it's unattractive. It's unsustainable over the long term. No one really wants to be put up on a pedestal because they're going to look down on you. And it's not a very nice dynamic for any relationship. Another idea that I think is very important for anyone inclined to put anyone on a pedestal, as I mentioned a moment ago, idealization leads to devastation. In other words, if you think someone's perfect, or you think your relationship is perfect, or you use that word perfect in any context related to other human beings, you are going to be disappointed sooner or later. And not even disappointed. Because again, this is something I've noticed, over the years, is a lot of guys in this position where they've been idealizing their girlfriend, they've been putting her on a pedestal, and all of a sudden they find out some things about her past that they don't like. It's not like, oh, they take her down a few rungs in the pedestal. They smash the pedestal with force, really. They sometimes become really emotional about this, and they switch to the opposite extreme sometimes, where I thought you were this angel, now maybe you're this other thing. You can choose your favorite pejorative, a lot of the words that guys use to describe women that are very hurtful and cruel. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. The point is, if you idealize someone, sooner or later, you're going to find something out about them you don't like, and you're probably going to be devastated. So just let's avoid this situation to begin with. Anytime you enter any relationship, you should be aware, and you should have in the back of your mind, that even though this person, even though she's so pretty and she's so smart and, she likes the same music you do and she makes you feel so good and you're having amazing sex and all those things, that's great, that's beautiful. But she's not perfect. No one's perfect. No relationship is perfect. She has flaws. She has imperfections. There's all kinds of skeletons and monsters in her closet, I'm sure, just like the rest of us. Slow down, take the relationship slowly. Don't put her on a pedestal. Also remember that using the word perfect, I think, keeps people at a distance. In other words, if you use this word or you think someone or something's perfect, you can't really appreciate all of them. And you're going to sometimes encourage them to put up a front. Because if they sense that you think that they're perfect, some people, unlike me in my past, some people are going to want to try to keep that illusion up. So maybe they'll hide things here and there, and maybe they're going to not share certain things that maybe they should share because, wow, this person thinks I'm perfect, I don't want to disappoint him. And ultimately, I think the process of dating should be about trying to determine fit, right? Do I fit with this person? Do they fit with me? Are we compatible? It isn't about trying to determine, are you a good person? Am I a good person? Anything like that. It's just about trying to determine fit. And in the effort of trying to determine fit, you want people to be honest. You want people to be honest about their flaws and their shortcomings and all the rest. You don't want people to be holding back. And so when you think someone's perfect or you treat them like you think they're perfect, they're going to hold back. They're not going to disclose the whole truth. And for any retroactive jealousy sufferers in particular who are doing this, who are putting their partner up on a pedestal, remember, I think that sometimes, and I have to say in particular guys, they think it's romantic. Right? They think it's romantic to idealize their partner or to call her perfect or to think she's perfect or to hold her up as this virtuous angel who could do no wrong. There's a side of them that thinks that it's romantic. And I'm not going to judge anyone else's definition of romantic, but for me, I think it is far more romantic to know someone's flaws and shortcomings and their triumphs and their victories and their defeats and everything in between. To love them for the whole picture of them, to love their entire self, not just the pretty bits, not just the nice bits, not just the bits they want the world to see, to love all of their ugliness maybe, and all of their shortcomings and their flaws. Maybe you can't love them, but you can at least accept them and not berate them for having these flaws and imperfections and all the rest. I think it's far more romantic to love the entire real human being rather than some idealized, vision of a person who doesn't really exist. I think it's far more romantic to get a sense of who someone is in their totality and love them that way. And finally, if you're struggling with this inclination to put people on a pedestal, reflect on yourself. Think about how you would feel if someone was holding you up to an impossible to reach standard. Think of how you would feel if someone was thinking you're perfect and just waiting to see you slip up. Think of how you would feel if someone was supplicating. Think of how you would feel if someone was loving you partially. If someone was telling you that they loved you, but really they only love certain aspects of you that you're showing, that you're choosing to show at any moment. Think of how it would feel to be loved in spite of all of your flaws and all your mistakes and everything you've done in the past that maybe wasn't the best and all the rest. Think of how it would feel to be loved in your totality. And compare that with someone loving you just for the bits that they think are perfect. If you reflect on this and you go deep into this idea, I think sooner or later you'll get the sense that, I don't want to put people on a pedestal because I myself would not want to be put in that position. Thank you for listening. Thanks for watching. If you benefited from this video, please take a minute to let me know by clicking the like button below. Leave a comment, tell me what you think. And while you're at it, be sure to subscribe to my channel to be notified of new videos moving forward. Thanks again, and I'll talk to you again soon.